Hey lads, this is day 2 of my series to get to 2100 on chess.com, and we're sitting at 1994. I really enjoyed the game of 15 plus 10 yesterday, and everybody in the comments seemed very positive that they liked 15 plus 10. So I'm going to try to articulate my thoughts well in this game, and hopefully we can get into a good position and play some clean chess. Let's see what we can do in our game today. A 2071 from the Czech Republic. And we'll see what he plays. Okay, he plays the knight out. And when I get some weird position like this, I often like to switch stuff up. But we're gonna play f5, which is the starting move to the Dutch. So he's finchetoing this bishop, and I'm gonna put my pawn here, protecting my knight with my queen. So, okay, he's brought this pawn out, and I suppose he's gonna push this pawn too. We'll, we could pin the pawn to the king. Do we want to go for that? Probably just comes here or here. It's not all that great for me. I don't know. I think I'll just go with a regular Dutch. This is the standard opening move. Okay, he's going for an attack here. And now I'm kind of afraid to castle here, but I'm going to go for it anyway. Okay, and he's really pushing on me. And I do think if I push this pawn, all of a sudden these dark squares are very vulnerable. So I'm thinking, do we just push this pawn? I think I will, because it also helps stop this knight jumping in. And I can put the queen here and attack this pawn on h5. Now my opponent's moved quite quickly. We have a lot of time to think here. He's attacking here, or he will be as soon as this piece moves. I'm wondering, do we move this pawn now to stop the knight jumping into this square? And then we put the queen here ready to take on h5 with the knight. Because this piece probably isn't going to move. Yeah, I'm going to go for this. Now, he could swap off my knight, but I think his dark square bishop is very strong. I don't think he'll be swapping off here. Okay, he's just come here. Let's put our queen here, and we're threatening to take this pawn. I don't think the king's going to castle this way. I have a feeling he's going to castle this way. But maybe he won't. Doesn't seem like his king's going to be particularly safe in this game. If we win this game, we are at our all-time peak rating, which will be 2004, because we get 10 points for this win. He's quite a bit higher than I am. We have a lot of time though. We're gonna try to think here. Okay. So he's got 2 attackers here, because the bishop's there now. Now I can go here, take. I guess he wins a pawn. Okay, so that's no good. What's the knight gonna do here? Is he gonna come into here? This knight looks kind of annoying, doesn't it? Kind of cramping my whole style. If the knight jumps in here, which it's definitely going to do, then all of a sudden my pieces are struggling. Maybe I don't need to worry about it though. Maybe I need to just try to get developed and maybe get the knight out here. You could come over here. Maybe I could push this pawn and take the center. Let's say he goes d4. We could capture d4. And he has to take with pawn or bishop. Now I think if he comes here, let's say we go here, he comes here. Maybe we could push. Not really seeing much here though, am I? Maybe knight here just to support the e5 push. And then if he comes here, we can recapture. Yeah, let's put our knight here. And I think after he moves his knight, we're just going to have to put our rook here. And I don't see a way of getting rid of this knight. I mean, I could bring the bishop around, but that's going to take forever. Yeah, let's put the even maybe the knight here. But here, if we push this, then maybe we can push this one, and the bishop can come here. Yeah, let's put it here. So I'm expecting the jump, and we'll just go here. Not a big fan of this opening. He's gotten very aggressive, but I'm not sure if it's completely correct by him. Because it seems like in the long run, his king's going to be weak. This pawn is always going to be a target for me. So he's always going to have to keep two defenders on it because we have two attackers. Okay, so he did go for this. So we can push, take, pawn here. Push, take, pawn here. Maybe we want to get our knight to this square to challenge this here. That could be okay. So push, take, knight here. And then knight here. Ready to capture here. Pinning this knight to the rook. It's an interesting idea. If he pushes on me, I'm very happy. We can also have this move. Don't think it's very good. Doesn't really seem to do all that much. Although I could just put the knight here and then play a5. I guess he has a3. Okay, he pushed. Wow. That is surprising. So this bishop is going to be bad for the rest of the entire game. It's never going to be able to cut through here. So now I'm wondering, do we come here, 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 and maybe around this way? Or do we go here? I think this push is annoying. I think I'm actually going to retreat around. However, we can't retreat around yet because if we go here, then the knight comes in here, trapping our rook. Which seems quite frustrating. I think this was a really bad move by him. And my pieces can get more active than his. This bishop's basically trapped for eternity here. And I think we'll be okay. I don't know if this was a mistake. You guys can all see on the engine. Maybe d5 was a mistake, but yeah, I don't know. Seems like it was. And I bet this was a surprising move for him. He probably thought I was coming here. And he was prepared to kick. I think the kick, I have to come back to here. Maybe knight comes here and here. I mean, that could be okay. But yeah, if I have to come back to here, then maybe he would have pushed this one. And then my knight's basically trapped going back to b8. And his pawns have just been able to advance. Yeah. Okay. He's definitely not castling this way. It's too open. He's going to castle this way. So I do think we'll go with an attack on this side. I want to keep the f5 pawn there, I think, so that I can play this move at some point. But I'm thinking right now, king h8. Not yet, because he has the check. So maybe king h7. I guess he can attack this pawn. But if he does, we take this pawn. And defend twice with both these pieces. Yeah. Yeah, because this is a discovered defense. So we would actually have two defenders, even though he would have two attackers. Both these pieces would be attacking the pawn. And then if this pawn ever tries to kick me, we'd be okay. Okay, so he's just trying to develop another piece. Let's put the king here. And the reason I'm putting the king on h7... Okay, so he's moved. Wow. So I think we can take here. He's blundered a pawn, I think. I think he's blundered a pawn. He had to have both those pieces attacking here. Okay, and he has castled this way. It makes sense. It looks safer. Now, do we cut this piece off? Is my dark squared bishop any good? Honestly, I don't think it is, because in these kinds of positions, when things are more closed, a knight is generally better. It seems like this knight's quite a difficult piece. But if I take here and he takes, then he's all of a sudden got two attackers on this knight. And this knight's going to have to jump back. But when I jump back, he's only going to have one attacker on this pawn again. So we'll be okay. I think taking this guy off seems good, because this bishop's not really able to get out on the other side of these pawns and attack his king. If this bishop was over here, then yeah, I would want to be using it, because it can cut through these light squared pawns. But behind the dark squares, it's kind of similar to his bishop behind the dark squares. So I'm thinking I'm going to take this guy off. And my piece is undeveloped and his is developed. So I don't see this as wrong. I was wondering if he had this and then take here, and then maybe he could pin the knight to my queen. He may have been able to. I may have made a mistake there. I need to think more than I am. But let's go here. I guess here, and we can put the knight here on g8, defending h6. He's probably just going to go here. We also have this knight move to defend h6. And I think my pieces are okay. Pushing the pawn here would really stop his queen, but pushing the pawn enables his bishop to get active. I don't think I like that. I'm wondering queen g6. He can also bring the bishop in, but we can swap it off probably. I think his light squared bishop's more scary than his dark squared one. He does have both his bishops still, which is the bishop pair, but I think this position's fairly closed. I think I need to try to force not trade pawns. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I don't think I should trade pawns, because then the position opens up and his bishops become way more powerful. So here he's attacking my pawn. So I'm wondering if I go here and he takes, I can take with bishop hitting his queen. And his queen has to come here, or he can push the pawn. But what's my other option? I am defending, but now he's attacking twice. So this is a move, but then his bishop gets good. Take here, we take with the bishop. Our bishop's bad and his is good. So that doesn't seem so good. If I push the pawn, he's going to take me. Doesn't seem so good either. I could come here. He's going to take. He wins a pawn with check, and I can't win this one because I have to move my king. if I take here, he takes, can't take because it's check. So maybe queen g6. He takes. Yeah, bishop takes. So queen g6, he probably pushes. And if he pushes, then maybe rook g8. He could push. Oh no, you can't push. My queen's sitting here. I guess he could take here. We just recapture. And my rook's on g8 looking down this file. He could come here and double his rooks, attacking this h6 pawn, which would be very weak. But my queen would be here and my king. And so he would, if he took, take, we'd be even. I think I have to put the queen here. But it could go a lot of different ways. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put the queen here. And I am up a pawn. I need to remember that. So right now I'm actually threatening this pawn. So he really needs to probably defend it or move it. You know, if he pushes, I just take it. What was I thinking? Yeah. Isn't that the obvious move? I don't know what I was saying. Yes, I'm threatening to just win it. I think this is his next move. And then maybe I can attack this rook somehow. My position's pretty good. I mean, I'm up a pawn, and I might be up a second pawn here. I think he's going to go here. Take. He could take with check, and I take. And then the bishop checks, and we just attack it. Okay. So now I can't take, because he wins my queen. But I do have this move. And he's going to be forced back. And then even though this bishop gets strong, he comes back to here, and I take this one. He takes, we take. I have a pawn here, and he's got a bishop and a rook looking at it. And our queens are looking at each other. But I'm also defending it. So take here. Okay, so here, take. I have 3 defenders, and he's only got 2 attacks on. Yeah, I'm going to go for this. This looks pretty good. And this pawn is still here. So I can capture here, but yeah, let's take here, here. Queen here looking at this. Honestly, I think I'm fine. My rook gets open. Should I take with knight? He takes here. Knight takes, bishop takes, pawn takes. And the rook's looking here. If pawn takes, bishop doesn't have to take. Yeah, let's take with the knight. Guys, why are 2Ks so much easier than I thought? I feel like I'm gonna get to 2100. I know that sounds crazy, but I do have that feeling. Like, I feel like I'm winning this game. Now maybe I'm not, maybe I'm completely losing, but it feels like I'm winning this. And I think this might be my highest win if I beat this guy. I think so far the highest person I've beaten is a 2050 or 2060, and this guy's 2071. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good here. Now, yeah, so he can't take because we take, and our rook opens up on this pawn, and I think that looks really good. And he can't advance a pawn because we take en passant with a rook behind it, getting ready to promote. And honestly, this game, like, we haven't really attacked. We've just sort of defended. Which maybe sometimes that's all you have to do in a game of chess, is just defend well. Now, this bishop is strong. It's a very strong piece. And I am a wee bit nervous about it coming here. However, whoa. He's pushed f4. So those of you who are new to chess, this move is called en passant, which means in passing. It's a French term. The French word for in is dans. But yeah, okay, en passant, maybe it's a different kind of in passing, like meanwhile or in the time of passing. En passant means you can capture it, but only on the next move. So I can actually capture this pawn here. When the pawn moves forwards 2, you can capture it as if it had moved forwards 1. So we could capture this pawn, and he'll take us most assuredly. And then we can come here, hitting his queen and his rook with a knight. However, we can also just ignore this and just come here. Threatening to take this. Yeah, okay, so come here, queen here, take the rook, he takes with bishop. I have a feeling like it's probably better to just win the rook. Well, I didn't even realize how bad this move was. This move is terrible because it's not defending this pawn anymore. So capture here. What if I just capture here first? Take, and then here. Okay, so he never has this move. I think I just capture. I don't need to en passant because en passant makes this pawn weak. Maybe that's not a bad thing, but like I don't need a pawn on this square. Let's capture. Now we're up 3 pawns. And he can't capture here because we take with the queen. And now I'm wondering, do we just try to push this? Maybe, or maybe we come here with the queen. Looking at this, but then he's got a checkmate. So we probably need to defend this threat, but honestly, it's not scary. We can come here with the queen. He takes with the queen. We take with the pawn. He takes with the bishop. We take with the rook. So he can't do that. So here, queen, he can capture the queen, and the pawn comes here. Not amazing for me, but also we could try to tempo this rook. So maybe we come here, hitting the rook and the pawn, and the rook has to move. It probably has to come back to here. We can't take the pawn because he's threatening checkmate, but we can just move the rook up. Maybe we move the rook up first. So here, rook up. Knight here, we win this pawn. Rook over. Oh, we win this pawn with check. Yeah, I'm going to go here. He can't block me because I take. No, I can't take because of this. So if I go here and he blocks me, I have to take with queen to defend here. And then he takes with bishop. So actually moving here might be a mistake because he has this move and it is a brilliant move because it's threatening check. So let's just defend first. And I think we're going to put the bishop here. And try to maybe push this pawn and get the other knight out. And then the other rook can come over. And honestly, we're just up 5 points. I mean, this is incredible. I could have brought the queen over, but yeah. I want to get these pieces developed. And I don't think I'm in a rush to do it. I think I can take my time. And lads, maybe this is the game to get to 2K that you actually wanted to see, not that Blunder game from two moves ago. Okay, so he's gone here. This doesn't seem right because I have a check, and then I can move this rook. I think I can just check. And even I have a check. And I can push this pawn. And this queen is not tied to holding this anymore because we put the rook on f7. So I could go here, he could take, and we just take with the king. And the king's fine. I don't think he has a way. I mean, he could come into h8, but I don't think he's checkmating me. Maybe we just start pushing the pawn. Here. No, he's going to take this guy. So he wants to take this rook. So maybe we push, or do we pull over here? I honestly think we push. Oh no, if we push, this is checkmate. Whoa, I nearly fell into that. So let's come back here. Rook e7. And I really can never push this pawn because of the checkmate on h8. So I really need to get this knight developed. So I need to play b6 at some point. But maybe we just push the pawn. I mean, that could be the thing we go for. And if he goes here, do we just take? Oh no, we take with the pawn. Yeah, right. Because we're holding here, we're fine. And the queen can never really approach these squares. He really needs to get his rook onto this file to add another attacker, or maybe a knight in. But the knight can't come in because of this pawn and this pawn. So my pawns are doing a great job of holding off here. And the bishop and the queen are already looking at where they want to look. I just can't move this pawn. I would love to be able to come here to defend the pawn, but he's going to just capture me. I think getting the a rook to g8 is the answer. So b6, knight b7. And we don't have to push this. We don't have to. I mean, there's just no need to stress about it. But we could just push it, hit his knight, then push it again and push it again, because this rook is just holding it. I mean, even this rook here this is a really good move. I think this is the piece he needs to get developed, but I don't see where it's going. So he wants to come here. So I push here, he takes. We can't take with this one, we have to take with a queen. Let's just go for this. Here. Queen here, we just take. So here. And we got to check on the next move. Yeah, this is good. This has to be good. Here, maybe queen here looking at this, but we have a bishop. Now we can't take with the rook, because then it's checkmate. So we have to take with the queen first. And I have plenty of time to be able to think through this. I also had b6. I think b6 was a good move. But maybe b6 allows some kind of maneuvering of his pieces. I don't see what maneuvering. I mean, he's really in trouble. But if he was able to get some kind of maneuvering, then maybe he could get a rook onto this file. Maybe he could get his knight here somehow and do something. Okay, so he's attacking my queen. So I think just come here with a check. But even here with a check, winning this one. Check here, and we're always holding this square, so we're fine. Check here. Let's say he goes back. We take the rook. Does he have this move? We just capture, capture. I think we're fine. Yeah, let's check here. Because it wins a rook. And he can't block because we take with the pawn. So he has to move to one of these squares or up here. And you know what's interesting? If he comes here, d3, we put the queen here. And he is forced to this square, I think. No, wait. Queen here. He can't come to this square because of the queen. He can't come to this square because of the pawn. He can't come to this square because of the rook and the pawn. So he has to go to here or here. And if he comes to this square, my queen's here. If he comes to this square, we have a check. He takes and we have a check. And then he comes down and we have a check. It's probably a mate somewhere here, I think. But I don't need to look for it. Let's just swap off. There might have been a mate there, but I even though I have a lot of time, I don't think I have enough time to calculate that properly. If I was playing over the board there, though, I would have sat there and calculated that for ages. Guys, I'm going to beat this guy. I am going to beat him. If I blunder, oh dear, it can't happen. It can't happen. I can't allow it. But this rook is an amazing defender. He's just sitting here, and there's no way for them to attack the rook. And if the queen tries to come in and do something, we just take it off wherever it comes. And I am dreaming. We're also threatening this bishop now. And then if the queen comes here to f7, I mean, we're just happy. I could honestly win this in so many different ways. But probably promote the pawn and then promote the pawn again. He can't take because he'll be in check. So push the pawn. I mean, I guess he could take with the queen, but then we just win his queen with our rook. And there's the resignation. Let's go. My position was completely dominant there. Completely dominant. Let's check the review. I have a feeling we kind of messed up at the start somewhere. Yeah, okay. We did mess up at the start. And we had an accuracy of 66.8. That is not good. Whoa, we had a lot of mistakes. I thought this was a good game for some reason. Let's see, where did everything go wrong? So back here, lads, I'm 2004. That's the all-time peak. We are a 2K. We just beat a 2071. On my profile, it says this is the best win I've ever had. We've never beaten someone who's a 2071. It says 2061 because it shows their rating after you beat them. But yeah, wow. So the game was basically even until I go e5. And I had to just pull back here and prepare my queen to defend before I did anything. Yeah, the bishop didn't need to be on e7. It came to e7, but then it can always go back to d8 just to allow the queen to protect before I do the silly push. But anyway, Here I was completely winning, and I actually just need to take this pawn, and I'm doing totally fine. But I made this mistake by attacking his bishop, and he actually didn't need to play back to e2. He could have played a move which we call in chess Zwischenzug, which is another German word, and I probably butchered it. Zwischenzug means, or intermezzo, you've probably heard me say that word before, where you can, instead of responding to the threat of being an attack, you can play another move, in-between move, Zwischenzug. And here he can actually capture the pawn on f5, hit my queen, and now my queen's in danger, so I'm going to have to deal with this pawn. I thought I could come here, but actually, the reason this Zwischenzug was so good is because the rook is hitting my pawn on e4, the bishop is hitting my pawn on e4, the knight is hitting my pawn on e4, and the queen is hitting my pawn on e4. 4 attackers, and I only have 3 defenders. I didn't see that when this pawn takes here, the rook is actually joining the attack. So that was why this was a big mistake. And this move wasn't so good because, again, instead of responding to my threat, he can play an intermezzo, attacking my queen. And now my queen has to move. It can't stay on this diagonal. It can't come here or here. So, and it can't come here because of the pawn and the rook. So it has to come to one of these 2 squares. It can't come here because of the rook. So the queen is forced away. So if it comes to g3, he actually has c3 looking at this, and probably rook g4 at some point. Probably my best move here would be rook f6. And this just looks really ugly because he brings his other rook in, and he's going to be looking at this, and I wouldn't be able to capture him because then he'd capture this one. So everything is just working really well for him. So I did kind of muck this all up by taking that pawn. But he didn't spot the in-between move. He responded to my threat, and I need to look for in-between moves. But really, I thought my position was a lot more winning than it is. It says I'm +5 points-wise, but actually, right here in this position, I'm only +1, which is really crazy. I need to think about intermezzos. I can't allow those to slip my mind. In chess, you always need to think, what are all the possible responses? And even in my own positions, I don't need to respond to a threat. I should always be looking for other ways where I can attack his queen or hit his king instead of just responding to a piece that's in danger. That is something I really need to be looking for more. But after this, yeah, we were looking for that checkmate, and if I had put the queen here, there wasn't a forced checkmate because he could come back to here and I could never really get him. But if he had come forwards, this was a mate in 1. I didn't see the rook move, but I probably would have played this if I saw the rook move. The pawn's holding these squares and the queen's holding the square he just came from, and the rook's defended. So that would have been a beautiful mate. But yeah, wow, that game was fun. I'm excited. I'm sitting at 2004. I think that was a really, really ugly game. But hopefully that was helpful talking about the intermezzo. That German word is too hard to pronounce. I'm not going to say it again. But yeah, new all-time peak, 2004. Incredible stuff. Can't believe it. We're going to get to 2100. It's going to happen, lads. See you all tomorrow.